Hello, everybody. Joseph P. Farrell, and it is Friday. Actually, it's Thursday today, but I'm recording this early. It's Thursday, September 8th, 2011. This is News and Views from the Nefarium, and I have a lot of announcements and a little commentary on some news items. But first announcement, as some of you know on my Facebook page and on the website, one of my publishers went ahead and announced the book that I haven't finished yet. I'm finishing the last two sections of the last chapter, all right? And the book is called Saucers, Swastikas, and Psyops. That should be out. I'm on Amazon. They're reporting it February 2012. It will probably be out earlier than that. I'd say December, January. Amazon is taking orders for it. What this book is it's a study, a kind of an essay more than anything else, into the idea of a breakaway civilization. Richard Dolan's idea that he mentions in his two-volume study, a great study if you haven't read it, called UFOs and the National Security State. And in these books, he mentions the idea of a breakaway civilization, the possibility that those investigating UFO technologies, black projects technologies, might actually have formed a kind of a separate civilization unto themselves. And the idea is really intriguing. And what I'm doing in the book is I'm taking an academic historian and using his model of civilizations, their activities, their infrastructure, what's necessary for civilizations to occur, and kind of going through a history of, say, beginning at the tail end of World War II up through the 1950s. It's not a history in the sense that I'm bringing it up to the present. I'm laying out a kind of a basic argument for why I think the breakaway civilization idea of Mr. Dolan might actually be true. And I'm looking at, of course, different factions involved in that, Nazis, corporations, bankers, and so on and so forth, military-industrial complex. So it's more of an essay than a fully fledged academic tome. You know, if you were to do that, it would be several hundred pages long. But I think the case is kind of interesting. I say in the preface that it's a necessary book, not necessarily an exciting one. And that's true. It doesn't move as quickly as many of my other books, but I think the case is important. The last part of the book does contain some really interesting information, however, dot connecting again. So for those of you who've been reading all of the books and paying close attention, there will be a few bombshells in it. But anyway, that's announcement number one. Announcement number two is on September 23rd, Friday, we are going to have an open to everybody sort of test event to test the technology platforms that my web developer Daniel Degree and I have been testing for the last couple of months, to do a video conference. I already know who I want to have. I'll make the announcements once I've contacted these people, and I'm not contacting them until we make sure that the technology is actually going to work. And that's kind of what that Friday, September 23rd video chat is going to be about. What we're going to try and do is just test this technology, see if people are comfortable with it. Daniel will be moderating it. I did post up on the Facebook page a request for subjects, and I've had so many. I think what we may just do is do it like one of our regular vid chats for the members and just let people ask questions. I may have some comments and so on and so forth, but it'll be a time for us to interact. One of the features of the technology that we're testing is that it allows you to be on camera with me and to ask questions, video questions, as well as text questions. So Daniel will be moderating that from the technological point of view to make sure that this all goes. If the technology works, he'll also be there to boot the occasional person that wants to upset everything. But once we're convinced that the technology is workable, then we're going to go ahead and start contacting the people that I have in mind for this panel discussion. There will be, as of right now, there will be no more than 6 and possibly only 5 One of those people is going to be Daniel. He'll be a technological moderator. So, in other words, he won't actually be a participant in the panel. So, the actual panel will consist of 4 people, including one moderator that I'm sure most of you are familiar with. We've already contacted him. He said that he's willing, uh, and he will be moderating the discussion with the rest of the panel. One of the members of the panel will, of course, be me. And I have in mind 2, possibly 3 others. One person has a lot of scheduling conflicts that may not be able to make it. I'm hoping so. But the other 2 members, again, we haven't contacted any of them because we want to make sure the technology is working. We just finished today a kind of an overview of various ticket-taking platforms. I'm estimating that we are going to probably charge $20 per ticket for this event. I want the event to be at least 3 hours long. Given the people I have in mind, I don't have any doubt that we're going to have about at least a 3-hour discussion on this particular subject, if not more. So that's going to be going, and there will be, in this technology, there will be also a chat room. But it's important for people to understand that this technology, we're not going to be monitoring the chat room for questions. There will be a separate way that you can actually post questions to the specific panel member through the moderator, through Daniel, and then through the online video moderator. So there will be a way for all of us to do this, to interact with each other, and then at the end of that panel discussion, I'm hoping that we'll have some time for free-for-all discussion. But that's the plan as of now. Again, I thank everybody for being patient with this video conference idea, and who knows, the technology may not work and we may have to cancel the whole idea. But at least we're trying, and we're going to try that go around on Friday, September 23rd. So I hope I'll see some of you there, some of you who aren't members at the website. It's open to all. This is an unusual event, largely for testing the technology platform. Anyway, those are my 2 announcements. The book, again, should be out circa, I would say, December, January. I'm finishing up the last chapter. I have 2 more sections to go. Then I have to go back and go through the whole manuscript, make sure the pagination's correct, and do all of that stuff. I know a lot of people complain about Adventures Unlimited because they don't hire an editor. And that means I have to do basically everything in terms of formatting the document, editing, trying to catch typographical errors, misspelling, and so on. And as everybody knows, you can't really proofread your own stuff. And it's always difficult working under these deadlines that I do to do that. But the book is going to be about 200, it looks like it's going to come in about 250 pages, thereabout. So anyway, and it's laying groundwork, of course, for further books on down the line. Anyway, since we're talking about Nazis, I'm hoping to blog in the next couple of weeks about an interesting subject that just came down the wire. Germany's version of the Supreme Court today, I don't think it was today, I think it was this last week, ruled that Chancellor Merkel's bailout efforts in the European Union were upheld by the German Supreme Court. And already there's blogs, there's internet news flying around that some people are saying that this is contrary to the German Grundgesetz, or foundational law, their equivalent of the Constitution. There are people already arguing that the German Supreme Court simply made up a law to allow Chancellor Merkel's bailout to go ahead of the European Union. I don't know whether that's true or not, obviously, because I'm not an expert of German law, although I used to have a copy of the German Constitution, but I've misplaced it, so I can't find it for sure. But that's an interesting sign. It certainly bears watching. Germany has decided to go ahead and bail out the EU. So Germans are already grumbling. So keep the dial right here, folks, because I think it's going to be very interesting. Anyway, those are the news and announcements. More announcements than news this week, but Again, if anything comes up during the weekend that I think is worthy of a video comment, I'll certainly do that, and I'll see everybody on the flip side. God bless everybody.